Welcome to the AI for Interior Designers podcast, where creativity meets cutting edge technology. In each episode, we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence and explore how it's revolutionizing the interior design industry. From AI powered design tools to the latest trends and innovations, we've got you covered. So plug in, relax, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Welcome to AI for Interior Designers podcast. P.S. This intro was written by and voiced by AI to sound like your host, Jenna.
Hey designers, welcome back for episode 18 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I'm your host, Jenna, and yes, I missed last week. I try to post every week on Wednesdays when I am able to, but there's a lot going on. I am traveling right now a lot to do in-person AI presentations. So last week I was actually in California and I got to go to San Diego where my sister lives and stayed there. It was a girls trip, brought my daughter out, stayed with my sister and her family. It was great. So we stayed there, went to ASID, did a presentation for them, and then went up to the northern chapter near Silicon Valley for the other chapter of ASID in Northern California. So it was so lovely to meet everybody. I learned about a few new things when it comes to AI tech in, the supplier stage. Also, Sherwin-Williams had a new program just released, so I learned a little bit about that because they sponsored one of the it's not a call, I was in person. I am still so jet lagged, guys. It is Wednesday, and I got back 4 days ago, and it was AI summer camp, so I cannot tell you that I've slept very much in the past 2 weeks. So I don't have my normal pep this week, but it's an important topic that I wanted to discuss today, and that is AI going to take our job? This is one of the biggest questions that I get. I think it's the forefront of a lot of people's minds right now. I personally try not to worry about things that I cannot change and try to embrace things that could potentially help my future self. And that's kind of where I'm at with AI. I am a realist about it could go either way, but if we don't learn it, if we don't try to educate ourselves now as it's up and coming, then the chances of us being left behind or definitely, losing our jobs or work because of other people using it, it's a serious risk. And I don't want to sugarcoat that. I don't want to sugarcoat the fact that there's going to be jobs in this industry that are lost. But then on the flip side, there's going to be jobs that are gained. There's going to be new ways of doing things. We're already starting to see that. And it's just going to take a little bit to catch up. Now, for people like myself and those that are taking my classes and really kind of into AI or, just learning it on your own as well, the current capabilities, you understand the trajectory of where we're going to start to see this technology lead us and the advances that we can make in our careers, basically, and the way that we interact with clients, the content and designs that we produce. Overall, I see this as a good thing. That's why I do what I do, because I do see that it's a positive in the end for basically making us, and I'm going to do a comparison here to the Limitless movie, if you've ever seen that, or, any of the spinoffs, or maybe it was a book, I don't know. Bradley Cooper, right? So if you think about that limitless pill, and basically when he takes it, he can absorb all of the knowledge that he needs and just knows what to do in a situation when it arises. He is on his game. He understands everything. It's just the clarity that happens when he takes this limitless pill. Now, in the end, it does cause an issue, right? It is slowly killing the people that are taking it. But for that time, he is he's invincible. So kind of similar to how we are using AI, except for it's not physically in our body yet. Thanks, Elon, for trying that out with the little brain chips. So we'll see how that one goes. But right now, physically it's not hurting us, right? But in the end, could it take away our livelihood? And that's a serious question, and consideration and conversation that I think that we need to be having. Now, I do have a few different topics about like predictions, and basically like where we're at right now with technology. If you're not quite sure what exists, I'm going to do my best to cover as many of the things that I know about at like high level today, just because there's something new every day that pops up in the interior design space, in the AI space in general. And it's changing so insanely rapidly that if you're not keeping your finger on the pulse, it's going to be hard to jump in, honestly, if you wait longer. So I'm happy that you're here today. I'm happy that you're listening today, so that you can hopefully prepare yourself, prepare your team for the future. Because with how uncertain everything is in this world right now, it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not a person that is like a fear monger. I am very like go with the flow. Let's look for how we can benefit ourselves and educate ourselves so that we can be better in the future. But with that being said, there's just some realities that we have to face and that we have to talk about. So that's what today's episode is about. I would love to get your opinions on these things. So please leave a comment on the blog. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, I said blog. I actually am releasing all of these videos also as a blog. But if you can comment here on the podcast, that would be great. I would love to just get your insights. So yeah, and on YouTube. Okay, so let's get started. Kind of like where we're at right now, and then like some projections that are coming out with that. So AI powered design generation. So you've heard me talk about it before. AI in the conceptual phase is really how I'm utilizing it right now for my current business. So this could be generating images for inspiration, glorified Pinterest, right? I'm not spending hours looking for those pictures. I'm generating them in minutes. And then I'm basically creating concepts and then moving forward with, design ideas and showing my clients like, hey, this is my idea. What do you think about this for that space? And then if it's a yay or nay, we haven't wasted too much time in the design phase and we can move forward. I use my GPT for creating budgets within minutes based off of all the items and the restrictions or specifications to that specific project. So I have a GPT that does that for me now. Space restraints is something that right now it's not great. So like there's programs out there, I guess, that are working on floor plans. It's still very much like you need a human to confirm that this is accurate. If we look at, what DALL-E creates when it does a floor plan versus like, a visual versus writing it out, same with Midjourney, it doesn't understand the space requirements. It doesn't understand like flow and how humans live in the space and can like walk around. You'll see that a lot in the AI generated images for kitchens and bathrooms. Not only is the hardware insanely messed up still to this day, a lot of the times, and that's a dead giveaway. The other thing is that it doesn't understand like placement or the triangle, all that stuff. It just doesn't get it. When it comes to generative AI and imagery, right now it is purely for inspiration. Even if you were to take one of your design boards, try and run it through one of these generative texts to image programs, Midjourney, DALL-E, Adobe Firefly, there's so many out there. Whatever your preference is, if you try to do it, chances are it's not going to take actual products, copyright restrictions, right? And it's not going to like fully understand the space and the function. So right now we are safe, but that's not going to last very long. Okay. What the public will be able to have their hands on, what they actually currently have their hands on, is something that, like if you are kind of floating by as an interior designer, and this is maybe just a hobby or this isn't something that you're like really keeping up with, this is for you. Like you got to step up your game. Okay. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Like that is who we're talking about today that could potentially be at risk. Is the person that is not understanding what AI impacts are, and that in the near future, people could potentially want to try to cut out the interior designer with the technology that currently exists and will exist in the next few years. Now, with that being said, a lot of people that are our clients have no interest in doing this. Either they don't have the time, they don't want to sit there and figure it out for themselves, they just don't have the style and cannot put the images and inspiration to real life. And that's what we do. That's what we've always done, is come with creative ideas and then we implement, right? There's still always going to be this need for human touch in this process. In really any service-based process, that is what it is, right? Like we understand more than a computer will ever understand. And we are there in the flesh. If you do logo work for me, it's I'm there via computer screen, but it's still personal and it's still that human touch, and that's where we will always win over the computers and over the machine. Okay. So that's kind of like the landscape that we're at right now as it pertains to AI generative imagery and conceptual imagery. Now, I want to talk about a few advances in the space of interior design for professionals that can be used as tools. Now, will these cut out jobs? Yes, they're going to in some capacities. But will those people that are losing those jobs find different ways to do things? Yes, that is also true. So, number one, the virtual reality integration has been there, right? Like none of that is new. We've been using VR for years and years. Well, many of us have, some of us have not, but many of us have been using virtual walkthroughs, rendering the spaces. So I still to this day render my spaces, create videos or VR walkthrough tours, using hotspots or headsets, and then people can like walk through and explore the spaces. Now, in the very near future, this is going to become, so immersive for them to get an idea of the design, the concept, the space, the layout, the look, the feel, all of the things before they purchase a single item, right? They can literally like put on their headset and walk over to their bed and potentially like move some pillows around and, kind of like see how everything looks, like pick something up, like look at it, put it back down. Like that is the future of these things. You could potentially have your own little avatar, like the metaverse, and that avatar goes and does these home tours, right? So it could happen in the real estate industry. It could happen in our space with interior design. And you basically create an avatar for yourself, and that avatar, you go into this virtual world that looks like what you could produce in this world before you even get there. So I've also seen these other things too that were really cool where let's see, there's a couple. So there's this one for designers that basically if you're creating like a 3D model of something, you can have it as like a hologram on your phone as a projection, and you can spin it, you can like redesign it, you can apply different fabrics, materials, and then you can like see it sitting there as a projection right in front of you while you're designing that concept. This is like those 90s movies where like it was the futuristic stuff. Like we're there, guys. Like this is becoming a reality. So this is just barely coming out now from what I'm seeing. I'm sure it's going to be very expensive, so it's not something that I'm going to be having. But for furniture designers and people like that, you could potentially be modeling this in a 3-dimensional hologram type space in conjunction with your computer screen and maybe like a little tablet notepad. I've also seen this other thing where you can create an avatar for yourself, and then that avatar does virtual shopping for you. So if you wanted to try on, it's like to scale. So like it's your actual measurements and your body, all of that. So If you wanted to go to a virtual store, you wanted to try on a new hat, or if you wanted to try on a new outfit, it would show you that. If you wanted to see it in different colors, it would apply it to your body and then change the colors and everything else. And you're just shopping entirely virtually. You don't ever go to the store. It is the next level of online shopping. This is very true for how it could also adapt to the interior design space. VR right now is like so elementary for what it could potentially be here in the coming years, because we have the ability now to go to a website. A lot of them will have like the VR model, where if you're looking at a chair or a sofa, you want to see it in your space, you just kind of scan it on your phone and then scan your room, and then it'll put it in there somewhat to scale. Like realistically, it's really not that accurate for scale, because just from what I've seen, it's just a little off compared to the actual measurements. But that's currently what we have right now, is just like the projection on your computer screen or on your phone screen, showing you where that would look in your space when you have your camera open. But the level of interaction is about to get so much more engaging in these 3D environments, as it pertains to interior design and fashion and real estate. It's about to get crazy, guys. So buckle up, because here we go in the next few years. So just knowing, first of all, that these things are on the horizon, that some of these things exist already. Are you going to be an early adapter? Is this going to set you apart in your business to kind of be like, hey, I've got this cool tech. If that relates to your ideal client, like, go for it. This should definitely be something that you're niching down in and really exploring to add to your offerings and your services that elevate you from everybody else. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is intelligent project management. So project management right now, like, it's fairly manual. Like there's programs like Domo, which I love, and there's places where like it just streamlines everything, like from clipping the product to putting it into certain views, and then like using that view to create a proposal or an invoice. Like it's all very connected at right now, but we're going to see this become more automated in the future. So, I mean, I would say probably near future. And I'm not speaking for Domo. I'm just saying I love Domo. This is currently what they do. But I hope that we do start to see some of these project management tools and workflows get more AI infused. So what we could potentially be seeing is more optimized project timelines, resource allocation, supply chain management, like figuring out where stuff is, if it's in stock, like what's the ship time, where's it coming from, just more centralized logistics when it comes to the back end, streamlining entire design and implementation process. So everything I'm talking about today is going to change your workflow. It's going to change what you do today, and how you collaborate with your clients and how you work on your design projects. Every single thing is going to change. I don't care if you've been in business for the past 30 years or you've been in business for 5 minutes. Everything you do today will be changing in the next 5 years. Okay. And if you really start to look at these tools, it will be for the better. It will help you to enhance your creativity. It will help you with the back-end project management to make sure that there are minimal errors. And these are all things that help us, like that limitless thing, right? It helps us to enhance what we're doing so we can get time to use our brain and to do the things that we super, super excel at, right? And that's probably designing, that's understanding how people live and function in their home. Again, things that computers don't do, right? Okay, so project management is going to be a big part of AI, and its new updates and things that it's going to be. All right, so project management is going to be a very big part of what AI is going to be assisting us with in the near future. Right now we've got a lot of design assistants that help with the back end of our project management, just making sure that like every single product is where it should be, it's ordered, it's, where is it? Has it been checked in? Is it damaged? All of these tedious things will be affected by AI in the near future. So last week when I was out in where was I? San Francisco for ASID. We had this session at MSI, and they are tile countertops. Beautiful, beautiful product. And thank you for hosting, by the way, MSI. So we learned about some of their new AI tech at the end of the day. And one of the things that they internally have right now is this tool that basically helps them to look at a designer's purchase order. And if that designer had, ordered before, they would look at the order history, because if they left off one of the specifications for their new order, the AI programs that they have integrated into their systems can now look at previous order history and say, okay, she liked, a bull nose for whatever that, the trim is or whatever. I don't even know where to go with this. You know what I mean? But they would look and see other specifications that you have previously done, and then they will fill that in and hope, it's 50-50 chance they've got better odds. But this cuts down the time of, okay, well, let me contact them. Let me ask them what this is. If they can just assume based off of previous research and purchase orders from that particular client, then 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the correct answer. So this cuts down on all that back and forth, waiting for answers, and just kind of goes with it based off of previous, like the odds are in their favor, right? That's probably how they want it. The other thing that they had, and I see this like coming out probably like in every showroom or warehouse, is if something is out of stock, they can basically use the AI systems in their searching to find something that is similar to the original product that can be changed. Their showroom is vast. There are so many options. So instead of being like, okay, well, let me search my system manually and try and find something that's similar in color, shape, in stock, all these specifications, it can now basically use like predictive algorithms and look for alternative items inside of their their inventory and see alternatives within a matter of minutes instead of going to manually search for every single product. This tool, this technology, I'm so happy that they shared that with us, because they said that this will soon be something that other designers will also have. But this is incredible, honestly, when you think about it in the search format, because you can find alternatives. You can very quickly see if something's in stock, out of stock, look for something that will pair with, maybe you're looking for a backsplash and you already have a countertop and you need it to go with that backsplash. This could potentially cut down so much time on searching through endless amounts of products. And this isn't just for tile. This could be used for so many different things. And I'm sure that it already is being implemented with a lot of these other companies. The other thing that I started to explore is in Paint. So Sherwin-Williams has an app, and it basically takes a picture of your room, very similar to kind of what I did with that ChatGPT thing. But you upload a picture to their app, and it will look for paint colors for whatever it sees in there. So it could be like chairs, fabrics, walls, whatever that might be. And then it'll try and match it to similar paint colors in their system. I do think that it takes into consideration lighting, though I haven't played with it too much yet. But these are tools that help us as professionals to get into a better place for us to make those selections. So instead of being like, okay, well, here's 25 different white tones, like let me go through all of them and see, now we could boil it down to 3, and we can very quickly use our, designer eye and be like, okay, this one is the best for this solution. So this is all just time-saving things. Now, the other thing that I'm going to talk about here is more of a personalized design recommendation. This one's slightly scary if it gets into the wrong hands, to be totally honest. So what I was just talking about with the tile and going through manufacturers and wholesalers' sites and inventory, and also just, paint selections and finding the best thing faster for you. These are all great tools for professionals. But what happens when platforms start to make personalized design recommendations for everybody? And they're using generative text, and then maybe they're using reverse image searching, and you can go out and you can buy all those things. This is where we could potentially start to see issues with more and more people not going to interior designers, and especially with the place of the economy right now. We've already started to see a lot of these people that potentially previously before the pandemic were going to like Havenly and Decorist and all those platforms for the lower entry virtual design options, and endless revisions. You guys know the drill on those. And the designers were making like $0, right? So those jobs and those fast things, those people are now going to be the first ones to try and do it themselves using these tools. Now, the higher end, the luxury, the people that like see the actual value in not wanting to spend a ton of money on revisions after they mess up their design and they should have decided to hire a designer in the first place, those people still get it. Those people still understand the value of hiring a professional and having them come in and do what they do best and not a computer algorithm. So two totally different markets here. What we're seeing is also that market previously that was hiring designers 4 years ago, even if it was that lower entry, that market is slowly starting to go away. Those people have over the past 3 years started to dwindle anyway. And we're seeing more of like the mid to higher income levels still hiring professionals. Okay, so take that for what it is. But when we start to see platforms that are using the personal design recommendations and AI algorithms to basically analyze your style based off of pictures, based off of, just a series of questions. That's what we do, right? In the beginning for onboarding, we have to get to know their style. They select pictures. We might show them pictures. They answer questions from our onboarding questionnaire, and then we come back to them with tailored design results. We're going to start to see algorithms and computer programs doing this. I know that there's already a few out there right now that are doing this and then giving them generative AI imagery after they complete this. I don't love it. I don't love it. And I think that this is going to be, the more that it progresses, this is going to get interesting. And it's definitely something that we need to keep an eye on. Right now, it's that low hanging fruit. It's the people that previously were probably spending less than $300 for a design service with endless revisions. You guys know the people, you guys know the platforms. Many of them have since closed down because it is not a sustainable model and because people are doing it themselves. So now AI is going to be pushing that whole bucket of people to more of that do-it-yourself platform using these algorithms. So there's going to be a bigger divide in the future of who is purchasing what services. And this is just something that you should consider as you are developing your business plan, okay? As you are shaking things up a little bit to stay ahead of the curve, think about all these things, like who is it for? Who's going to buy this? Who can afford these things at this point in time? You need to be speaking to that person, because if they can't afford your services, they're going to be going over to one of these AI creators, and they're only going to get better and better. All right. So just be aware that they are out there. The last thing that I wanted to talk about is automated sustainability analysis. So with sustainability being such a hot topic and obviously needed in this industry, there's a lot of AI sustainability tools that are starting to come out where they can assess the environmental impact of design choices, products, just different installations in the home that could be more sustainable, or that are a major factor when it comes to like shipping and logistics and all those things for sustainability. So I think that soon we're going to see a lot more like calculators built in to a lot of our everyday tools that do give us sustainability consideration numbers and eco-friendly, carbon emission factors and stuff like that, but more in an automated way. Because I know that some of these platforms for interior designers, you can actually put some of those numbers in there and calculate it per project. But I think that we're going to start to see this done more frequently with product selection, with just logistics in general, to be able to calculate sustainability and how it's all happening in the overall scheme of things. So some potential clients might come to you because you focus on this. You are about sustainability, from the decisions that you make to the products that you source to how they ship to that person's house. If you are sustainable every way through, that's a great niche for you. And it's something that AI will assist you with to make sure that you can come up with accurate numbers, and it can really just help the environment a little bit more, right? Because right now, like I said, it is fairly manual. So right now we have Google for reverse image search. We have Pinterest, and there's others, right? There's other ones. I think pretty much every search engine. I'm looking at my Copilot browser right now. I can do it in here. Pretty much all of these have been able to reverse image search and then find, we'll say, entry level retail product selections for what it sees. I mean, my phone does it. Like I can just bring it up in my camera roll and search for a product at this point. I use a Samsung. So what this feature is going to start to be doing is getting insanely accurate. And right now we can kind of do it in ChatGPT. We can kind of do it in, Perplexity and Copilot, like some of these other LLMs. And you basically pop in a picture and it can give you some referrals for what it sees. Now, because not all of these are accurate, with live up-to-date information, you might get replies to trade resources, to retail resources based off the picture that you upload. But if it's not connected to the internet for the search live right now, like ChatGPT, it currently will give you like links, but a lot of those things are now discontinued because it's pulling on information that's like over a year old. Unless if you're going to one of these other search engines and it is live connected and you can try and find things that are right there in the internet. So what I see is a really incredible place for retailers and wholesalers to get their product into either their own app with only their products, or larger apps where they come together. And basically it's a tool for interior designers to be able to upload a picture of, maybe it's a mid-journey concept, maybe it's a rendering that you did, and you want to find the actual products and you want to find them quickly. This is probably one of the most tedious parts of our job, is selecting, making sure everything's in stock, making sure it's the right size. Visual search and product discovery tools with AI and apps, should wholesalers want to go that route, with product up-to-date information, this could be an incredible tool for interior designers to be able to reverse image search, find the product, specify the product, ship the product. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot of, companies that are creating their own things, and you got to use this app and that app, just kind of how we've seen with like visualizer tools, where it's like, well, we're going to make a tool and then we're going to put it on our website so you can visualize the flooring. It's like, cool, I don't need that. I'm a designer. I would put that in my rendering. That's for a homeowner. What I need is a 3D model of your product so I can put it in there, and I don't have to spend 2 hours modeling your product, when you could be giving that to me and I could be, and 10 other designers, and we could sell that 10 times because you spent $200 modeling that and I didn't have to pay somebody for a one-time model. So wholesalers and suppliers, that's the disconnect right now. They think that like we need these tools that they're putting on their website, but it's not for us, for interior designers. They are for homeowners, and that is not helping us to sell your product 10 more times, right? So if you guys create an AI app that has your products where we can reverse image search something and find something similar to your catalog, unfortunately, there's going to be 10 bajillion different apps if anybody does this, because you don't want to be with your competitor, but let's say you are a flooring company and then you partner with a lighting company and then you partner with a furniture company and then you partner with a wallpaper company. Nobody conflicts there. And then you all put your products into an app where if we upload one of our inspirational pictures, we can find those things. And images that look like something that we could potentially use. That is helpful for us. That is helpful for us to be able to find, source, and order your product in minutes based off of our workflow and where we are. So just think about it, right? Like, that's something that I could use as a interior designer myself. That's something that my assistants could use. This is something that like we could have everything all in one place. We could connect it to our project management software. Once orders are placed, we would just send it right over. We could clip it, put it in there. But it's finding the products that are in stock, in the right size, in the right color. Maybe we could see it in VR, before we get to that whole 3D world space where it's more engaging and interactive. But these are the types of tools that we need and not these crazy other things that have been coming out. So, I don't know if you ever want to have a conversation about like if you're a wholesaler, what designers actually need in the technology that we could use, message me. I would love to talk to you about that because I got ideas and I got some thoughts. So anyway, these are all just tools and enhancements and things that help us to get from point A to point B with our client faster. This is just scratching the surface of what could potentially be coming in 2 months, 5 years. We don't really know. Either way, it's going to be getting better and better and better every single day with this technology. Okay. So who does this cut a job out of, right? Like who could potentially be missing their career or having to pivot their entire career because of these technologies that are coming out? I would say people that are not adapting, right? So people that are like, well, I've always done it like this and I'm going to keep doing that. Okay. There's going to be a certain point where you're going to have to start using a little bit more, or you're going to be that designer that says, I do not use AI. I do everything myself, which you're just going to like kill so much of your time. But if that's what you want to do, you can be that person that says, I do not use AI in any capacity of your design project. And that is what you do. That is your niche. We're going to start to see a little bit of a divide with this, where there's going to be people that are like, I don't use it. I don't want anything to do with it. And I'm going to do it this way. And that's going to attract a certain audience that also does not relate to AI and would prefer it to be more of just that human to human interaction. That's going to be a thing. That's going to be something that people focus on in the future. Small percentage, but that's going to be out there. We're also going to start to see people that are like, maybe outsourcing different things in their business that have to do with customer service, looking for products, specifying inventory management. Yes, there's automated parts, but it still takes a person to be that liaison between the AI and the project, right? So you still need that middleman that can review everything that AI has done, made sure that it's done correctly in the way that you want it done, and then still communicates the information to the end user, to the client, to the suppliers. These tools will help us to do them faster, more accurately, and better overall, but there's still that human touch between the AI and the end result. Okay. That is a job that is not going away. So if you are an assistant right now and you are helping with people, or if you have a team of assistants that do various tasks for you with your interior design projects, they can utilize these tools and they can be better at their jobs. It doesn't eliminate their job, but it allows them to be better and to take on more roles in your company, which in the end could potentially eliminate the position for another, having to pay another employee, because you can kind of condense their jobs because they can do them so much better. All right. So as a business owner myself, I love this. I don't want to pay more salaries than I have to. And for more, freelancers, if that's the way that you want to do it, then I have to, right? So that's more money in my pocket when my team can work more efficiently using AI tools. And if they're not using AI tools, and if you are kind of like, this is not something I want to do, this is, I don't want to look into this, you are shooting yourself in the foot. Like, let's just be honest. If you're not looking at how you can run your business more efficiently using artificial intelligence, you will be left behind if you don't carve out your place in this industry, in your niche, and what you represent, whether that's AI and tech forward design, or if it's anti AI, right? I don't care what it's going to be. You just need to define where you fall with this, so that you don't fall entirely and lose everything, right? I mean, that is, I hate to say it like that, but that could very well be a reality, is that if you don't do anything and you stay stagnant, where do you sit in this industry in 3 years? The other thing that I want to say on that topic is that if you are trying to actively not use AI, oh, baby, good luck. It is in everything. I don't know how people can say that they don't use AI. Honestly, like, I ask, just because you don't use ChatGPT does not mean that you don't use AI. If you are opening your cell phone, if you are posting something, if you are looking through your camera roll and I just did this, type in your VIN number, because I took a picture of my VIN number, never labeled it like that. It literally pulled from my camera roll because I said, find my VIN number. These have been around for a very, very long time. Like 60 plus years is when AI started to take shape. You are using AI, okay? Whether you're using it in these apps, in your day-to-day apps, that it snuck itself in there. Just because you're not using ChatGPT and Midjourney does not mean that you are not using AI. Okay, so just be very clear if you are trying to carve out your niche and say that you are not an AI user, that you're reading books or something, because it is in everything else. Your hand sketching, which is a great niche. Like, do that, if you don't want to render or anything, and because rendering also has AI infused in everything now, and that's going to get stronger and stronger. That's one thing that I didn't talk about, and I do want to circle back to that, is rendering, floor plans, all of that stuff. The big question is can we just create floor plans, and put in the room dimensions and then have it give us various floor plan layouts for this? And the answer is technically yes. A lot of these programs can do that now, where basically you put in your info and then it does it. Now, in the future, that can all be done with a paragraph, right? So if you have or a sketch of the space. So if you have written words that says this room is 24 by 15, we've got an opening that is blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. We need a kitchen, we need a dining table, and then you list everything, it will build it for you, okay, with words or sketches. Right now, there's things that are starting to do this. Programs are infused with tech that has AI that can basically start to do this. Is it something that I would just be like, okay, perfect, hand it off to my client? No, I would never do that at this point in time. But we are starting to see technology take this information and then just run with it. And it's only going to get more and more accurate. So when it comes to, software, SketchUp, CAD, whatever you might be using, watch for the progression with AI. It's already started. I know there's a lot of words and there was a lot of things that, maybe scared you in this episode, but I mean, they should, if I'm being totally honest. Like, these things are coming fast and furious. And if you're somebody that doesn't do well with change, start preparing yourself now. This is your heads up that if you don't start using these tools and trying to figure out what jobs could potentially be eliminated by these tools as they start to release, and how do you pivot to use them to your advantage, you could be in a bad place in the next few years. And I would hate to see that. Okay. So step up your game is really what all this is about. And look at technology as that limitless pill where it's going to enhance your already creative and inspired space. And it's going to help you to do better in the future. Okay. So this was heavy, I know. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, guys, because what I just said today is going to be totally different than what I say in a podcast in a year, in 6 months, because there's going to be things coming out and it's going to be game changing. So just be in the know. Hopefully you listen to the podcast and I can keep you up to date with all these things that are coming out. But there's so much here that I didn't even talk about. This is just scratching the surface. All right. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 18 of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. I will see you next week for a new episode. All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the AI for Interior Designers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and tune in next week for more AI tips for your design business. See you next time.